Live. And good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Health Transformation webinar. This is your host, Cade Archibald, and really excited to be here with you guys and just go over some really cool stuff for y'all's. So with me, as the usual, and the main man himself, original founder of East West Health and Go Wellness, just an all-around amazing guy, Regan Archibald. Regan, how's it going?
Really good. How you doing?
Doing great.
Awesome. And welcome everybody on Instagram and people who watch this in the future. This is going to be an awesome 25 minutes. So dig in, get ready.
Beautiful. So I see on the screen here, we got your healthy self or heal thyself.
Yeah.
These are, we've designed some different programs around your healthy self, just really to accelerate people's health. So Regan, why don't you dive in a little bit, help us understand how, what kind of solutions this offers and what people can get.
Well, if you look at, my newest book is called Your Healthy Self. And if you just break that up, you do a little wordplay, it's heal thyself. And so one of the things you look at in health is, first of all, I believe in this concept of health independence, because if you don't have your health independence, you really are living in a really risky zone, because when you're dependent on either a medication or a surgery for your health, or you're dependent on somebody else to take care of you, this is where you lose a lot of your freedom. And so I think life is meant to be lived fully and freely, where you can enjoy, the four freedoms we talked about last week, which were, having the freedom of movement, the freedom of breathing, the freedom of thinking, and the freedom of nutrition. But without health independence, those things go away. And so in the healthy self, it's based on three core criteria. So first thing is, we take a simple strategy in your health, and it's based in science and testing. It's not in guessing games, because what's missing in healthcare today, and you see it all the time, Cade, and the patients that you work with down there in the St. George Clinic, but what we see is people, they don't understand what their labs really mean. And that's, to me, health independence is understanding how to interpret your own labs, not by just getting on Google, but also by having a team of mentors, a team of doctors and scientists working side by side with you, not just a doctor saying you've got this diagnosis, here's the treatment, and you're going to be on this medication for the rest of your life. But actually by working with you and educating you on, okay, so yes, your numbers are elevated. You've got high creatinine levels. Your GFR is low. It's dropping into the 30s. Yes, you're moving into kidney failure. And let's avoid that dialysis before it's too late. These are really important things. Or you start looking at something subtle like your hemoglobin A1C, and you start saying, well, my hemoglobin A1C is now creeping up, and it's now 5.7 and then 5.8. It's like, well, let's not wait and see and do something once it gets to 6. Let's get it back down to, between 5.0 and 5.3, right in that sweet spot. So that's what I mean by having the correct tests, because that's missing in healthcare in general. Missing in healthcare at large is people are playing guessing games with your health, and most doctors want to wait until you're sick before they do anything. They want to wait until you've got this disease that they can classify and put you in that box. And so your healthy self is all about taking a strategy in health that's based on science and not guessing games. So what do you think about that concept, Cade?
Love it. No, I think that is the biggest thing we're missing in healthcare is that educational process. So it's beautiful.
Yeah, and one of my patients this afternoon that I'm meeting with, we were doing our medical review on her labs this morning, and it was crazy just to see the difference she's made in 6 months. So she went through a 6-month wellness program. We also did some stem cell therapy in her back, and we've been able to get rid of all of her inflammatory markers are now within normal limits. They're in functional limits, I should say. That's what we're looking at. We've been able to reverse her prediabetes. we've been able to eradicate some of the liver. She was actually going into more of a fatty liver syndrome, and we were able to get rid of her cholesterol. So in 6 months of time, from a lab perspective, we've got things normalized, but from an energy perspective, she's got better energy. She has a better outlook on life. She still has the same stress with her husband, her 4 kids, and her full-time job, but she's handling it so much better. And so I think that's where, if we didn't have the right tests, it's like, yeah, we can kind of, we could have coached her, but we would not have made near the progress. So the second thing, like I mentioned with this patient, is the next gen treatment. So if you think about what next generation is, what's the future of medicine really holds? What's it bringing? And this is where stem cell therapy, functional nutrition, brain rejuvenation, these next gen treatments are actually really exciting. And were you going to say something there, Cade?
No, I was just going to agree with you that's like, you look at the future treatments in healthcare are like, I think we're in that arena now. Like we got some seriously cool treatments that I think 10 years ago people were looking at as like, oh, this is the future of medicine, and even 5 years ago, and now it feels like we're like, it's not like we've ever arrived, but we have some amazing treatments for longevity and just prolonging and enhancing life that are really cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's like it's straight out of a science fiction book. I mean, some of the treatments that we're administering day in and day out are just amazing. I mean, we've just seen breakthroughs in brain rejuvenation. We've had our autistic patients are just doing amazing. It's been really fun to see. And so the future of medicine, it's, if you watch Pain Rebuild, that newest docuseries, Jeff Hayes, and Jeff Hayes is actually coming to get treatment today. So really exciting. He's
awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. And Patrick Gentempo's wife. I mean, so it's cool to see the community, but to see the experts they were able to interview and what people are doing in medicine is so powerful. And then draw that to the contrast of I'm talking to my neighbor, and she works at a big organization. She's a primary care physician. Her husband's a pulmonologist, and at another big organization like University of Utah IHC. And she's just sort of like, oh, you're one of those doctors. You're the doctors that we kind of roll our eyes at because all the patients love you guys. And I guess whatever makes people feel better. I mean, she's kind of like trying to play it off like I'm practicing medicine that just makes people feel better. And I said, look, I'm going to come over and I'm going to be doing acupuncture on you every day. Just like kind of teasing her about it. But it's funny just to see this mindset and the idea that, there's only one type of medicine that works, and that's going to keep us getting sicker, fatter, more depressed. I mean, I look at this and I said, Pain Rebuild, the best thing it could do for us is it could get our life expectancy back on the upward trend, because one of the reasons why we are in this decline in our life expectancy in the United States is opiate overdoses. And who's writing opiate prescriptions? It's not East West Health. It's not the Go Wellness organization that we're all connected with. And so this is something that I think can be just transformative for our entire country. And so that's, some of the next gen treatments. I talked about acupuncture. You're like, that's not next gen. That's
ancient.
It's ancient, bro. But I look at acupuncture and it's never fully been able to take its place, in my opinion, where it needs to on the medical table. Like we've never given it full validation and all the benefits of it. And there's more and more doctors who are starting to prescribe it, recommend it. Now people are waking up to it. But man, what if you just stuck a few needles in your body, you changed the electromagnetic frequencies, you got your neurological system balanced out, suddenly you're going to pop right out of it, and you don't even need medications. You don't need herbs. All you need is just a really good acupuncturist, and they can coach you and guide you and help your body heal itself. I mean, that's health independence there. And then finally, the third thing.
Yeah, well, I think just to add on to that is how you can use acupuncture in conjunction with so many other therapies. Like that's the amazing thing. If you look at, the stem cell treatments, being able to utilize acupuncture to signal, because those help increase cell signaling
Right.
capabilities. So you can really help migrate things, different areas. Yeah, there's just some really cool abilities from that ancient medicine that we've, through research and time, have discovered some really rad stuff with it. That
Yeah.
is next gen.
It is. I mean, just our understanding, that's a good point, Cade, is our understanding of acupuncture is becoming next gen, because now what we've learned, thanks to the Koreans, some Korean researchers, they've actually isolated meridians. So there's actually a physiological correlate to these, what used to be a pseudoscience. Now we're starting to say, oh, there's actually some real physiological structures. And then with Arnold Kaplan's work, who's the grandfather of the stem cell, what he says is stem cells actually start as pericytes, and these pericytes, not parasite, pericyte, these are cell structures that live on every vascular network in your body, and when that vessel gets damaged, these pericytes peel up and become stem cells. They become mesenchymal stem cells, and then they can regenerate the areas around it. And so acupuncture, in essence, is like damaging tissue. It's a fine needle, but there's not really much tissue damage at all. But it's opening up those pericytes, and then they can go through those ducts or the meridians and get transported to the areas of your body they need to heal. So yeah, there is next gen to acupuncture. So all right, now the third thing in your healthy self is coaching and mentoring. And this is the movement of the 21st century for the next probably 50 years. What we need more than anything is we've gone through the information era, and we have information literally at our fingertips and our pockets. You guys can join us from all over the world. We have people on this webinar, and we really appreciate you being on this. And the coolest thing about that, though, is now we need a way to use that information to benefit and to grow, benefit everybody and to grow. And so that's where coaching comes in. And medicine, in any field or any industry, I think medicine needs coaching, because it's complex, and biology is never as simple as we make it out to be. And so we want health coaches that focus on the age reversal process, because the number one killer in the world is aging. Aging kills 150,000 people, or 100,000 people every single day. 150,000 people die every day. 100,000 of those die due to age-caused diseases. And so we say, let's reverse age. Let's get rid of that number one disease. Let's give people pain-free movements, because, movement is healing. It's life. And then we let you enjoy life, and we say, here's a plan and a structure. Don't stress about your health. Let us put together a strategy that works for you. And then you have an accountability partner, someone who can help give you guidance and mentoring. So those are kind of the three phases of your healthy self. It's a new concept, something that, I think is brilliant. And one of the areas that gets missed the most is the health coaching part. So we want to change that. So what we're trying to do essentially is move you from, the scarcity of health, where you feel like you just need a diagnosis and then the medication and then a surgery, which leads to aging and more death. We want to give you an abundance of health. And I wrote a whole chapter on how to create an abundance of health. Some of these are your mindset morning, meditation, exercising every day, cold showers, eating the right foods. And then the biggest thing in creating an abundance of health is fostering really healthy relationships and really connecting deep. So I want to ask you guys, how do you create an abundance of health? What do you do in your life? What's your overall strategy for creating an abundance of health? And what happens when you get in the scarcity of health mode? I mean, that's where, our pain increases, it intensifies. We feel like we're never going to get over this sickness, and therefore it sticks around longer because we're attracting, exactly what we're putting out there. And so, maybe what are some of the things, Cade, what are some of the things you do to attract an abundance of health?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, just speaking from experience, is like actually doing something before it gets super bad. So I don't know if I told you about my injury over the weekend. I think I did. I just
with the tubing. Yeah, your back.
Completely jacked up my back, and it was so nice. Like I came in. That was like my biggest priority was, okay, I got to get into the clinic and actually fix my back, so my back isn't jacked up for the next weeks and weeks. And because trying to recover from an injury, sometimes it takes a long time. Sometimes it's very acute and it'll kind of resolve itself. This one did not feel like it was going to just resolve itself quickly. But even if it would have, my goal would be is do that as fast as possible. And I was like day 2 of getting some treatments. I'm like 100%.
Nice.
Feel great. Like my back does not, I have no back pain, and sitting down was the worst part of it. And so, I'm like back to 100%. And I think if I would have just like put it off and said, oh, my body, it'll just, I just need to rest and take time. That's like time away from exercise, working out. I can't go, I'm not going to go surfing if my back hurts.
Right.
So like it takes time away from enjoyment of life. I'm not going to, wrestle and mess around with my kids. Like it just, whether that's a week, a month, or a year, those days are precious. So I think that's one of the ways just recently that I've really looked at that and tried to execute on it.
Nice. Well, and it makes all the difference in the world when, what the alternative would be is, well, let's just load you up with ibuprofen and, and just, kind of slug through it, give it time, lay down in bed. Nobody wants to do that. We all got like really exciting lives. And so yeah, that's great. That's where you start looking at, when you have an abundance mentality, you start seeing possibilities everywhere. You start like realizing how cool the relationships are in your life. You start seeing that there's endless opportunities with healing, with finding new science, and it's all around us. And so that's what we're moving in towards. And so one of the things that I believe will change your life and change healthcare in general is mentorship and having more coaching for people, because doctors, like, I love labs, and I'm a great teacher, and I love presenting, and I love getting with people and actually extracting your knowledge and your wisdom out and then helping you apply that to your day-to-day life. That's something I love doing. But our coaches are so good at holding you accountable. And so that's where mentorship is key. And one of the things we've done to create a little bit of education and mentorship is I've created an online program, and it's called the Stem Cell Health. And these modules, the Stem Cell Health modules, are on Kajabi. If those of you who have not seen that, we're happy to get a link sent to you. This is our Stem Cell Health Manual. Every person who comes in and gets treatments here at East West, we want to make sure that they're armed with the knowledge and wisdom that they can have, so they can actually allow for the best environment in their body so the stem cells can proliferate and grow. And then we take them through nutrition. So some of our coaching process is based on, okay, let's see not only what the worst foods are that you're eating and the best foods, let's talk about that. We can get into macronutrients and the micronutrients, and eating organic. All those things are really important. But one of the things that gets overlooked in nutrition is when you're eating. And this can be a really key thing, because if you can just let your body rest at least 12 hours where you're not eating any food, and ideally if you can shrink it down to about 10 hours, that gives your digestive system a chance to take a complete break. And that can be one of the best things you can do for your blood sugar. It can help regulate all of the metabolic processes in the bacteria of your gut. About 30% of your genes are regulated by the circadian clock. So eating at the right times help rebalance your circadian rhythms. So one of the forms we have you fill out, and we're actually, I'll be announcing our retreat in just a minute here, but one of the things we're going to take you through in the retreat is we're going to actually really dial in and get a nutritional plan for you. We're going to have a chef that's going to actually show you how to cook, how to prepare your foods, and then you'll get to eat the foods that you prepare at this retreat. But nutrition's key. We talk about brain health, because think about when your brain's not working, not much in your life seems to work too well. And so we go through the 3 phases of brain health. And this is actually, something that's fascinating to me is looking at memory. A lot of people just say, oh, memory is all I need in the brain, but actually learning how to learn. And I think learning is one of the key components of a healthy brain, and not just learning from a textbook or learning by watching a lecture, or learning by being on a webinar like this. I think learning is when you go to your past experiences and you start looking at those experiences that caused an emotional trigger, an emotional reaction, or those things that you're really grateful for, those like, you know, those profound moments that you have, Cade, where you're just like, whoa, I'm in the right place at the right time with the right people doing the right thing. And, you know, just learning from those pivotal moments in life are so key. And then really fostering healthy emotions where you just start saying, man, there's some people you can't have in your life anymore. We had to let a key team player go yesterday, and it was really heartbreaking because I just love him to death, but it was time. I mean, he was becoming toxic to the entire group and organization. And sometimes you just have to know when to say when. And so this is what's really critical on brain health, is looking at memory, looking at learning, looking at emotions. And once those things are all in balance, that's where you have a lot of harmony. And then we talk about what foods feed the brain, the nootropics that are going to be used, and then some of the supplements you can use for brain health. And so, Kate, did you take any nootropics today?
You know, I had to take Olive with me this morning because Sierra had to get her oil changed. So I haven't, but I'm taking some Mycomind right now.
Oh, nice.
Lion's Mane.
Mycomind's got lion's mane in it. Great formula by Natural Stacks. I took my
Got my Inner Genius.
Yeah, I took some No-Pep this morning. There's really phenomenal things you can do to just fuel your brain that are natural, that help with brain-derived nootropic factor. You know, one of the best ways that we look at is, yes, there's foods you can do, but if you really want to upgrade your brain, that's what we'll be talking about at the retreat. We want to help people get their brain health right where it needs to be. And then we want to look at labs. So we'll be doing lab reviews and testing. So we'll actually show you, we'll say, bring your labs, and we're going to have breakout groups where you can actually go through and analyze your labs and understand how to read those. Like, you know, how cool is this? It's going to be a day that's just devoted to your health and devoted to your wellness. And then we're going to have, we'll look at your genetics. Here's my genetics. You can see I'm kind of like an X-Man where I've got polymorphisms all throughout here. I just need to find my superpower. But you can see I support these pathways and do just fine. So we'll talk to you about that. We'll talk about the genetic transformation. We can't change your genes, but we can either turn them on or turn them off. That's the beautiful thing about gene health. Maybe we'll talk about gut health. Maybe I'll show some biome. We do primarily Genova as well. That's a little more diagnostic, but biome is a fun test, and I love Naveen Jain. And then you're going to get acupuncture. So I'll be there doing acupuncture. I'll be teaching in the afternoon. We're going to have Pilates. And so this is our retreat, and it's going to be held. It's our first ever retreat. I'll show you guys in the Instagram world. And if you're not on our email list, email us. Email me, Regan at Go Wellness. That's REGAN at Go Wellness. And that's the best email to reach me at. And I will, I'll send you over the details because we've got an early bird special right now for this. It's typically $9.97 for this. It's just $2.97. So what happens is the event, we're going to have registration. We'll have some bulletproof coffee and from 8:30 to 9. And then it's going to be at the Go Wellness headquarters. It's our new space that we've just renovated, and it looks amazing. And it's on 925 South. West Temple here, downtown Salt Lake City, not too far from the clinic. And so 9 o'clock, we're going to start your HIIT and primal movement workouts. And so primal movements, Cade, do you remember what those are?
Yeah.
Those are like
push, pull, squat,
carry. Yep. And then twist. So yeah, we'll be taking you through those. And then from 10 to 10:30, we're going to do a mindset morning and a meditation practice, just get everybody harmonized. And then from 10:30 to 11, I'll be teaching about principles of keto, of fasting, and timed eating. And I'll show you what not to do and what might be really helpful. And then we're going to have 5 pillars of health coaching. And then from 11:45 to 12:05, I'm going to show you Einstein's equation of better medicine and show you, how to source supplements, how to look at things from a different perspective. so that you can be armed when you go into a health food store. You'll know exactly what to look at on a label. From 12:05 to 12:30, this is where we're going to talk about longevity secrets. And we may have a couple surprises for you in how you can enhance your face, your overall look, and stay as youthful as possible. And then from 12:30 to 1:30, this is where we're going to have a cooking class. So we have one of our chefs, and her name's Hillary, and she is phenomenal. She's the local chef for Whole Foods. They reach out to her. She puts everything together for them. She and her husband are just brilliant. And so she's going to be there, and we're going to have food there. And then you get to eat what you cook. And then from 1:30 to 2, we're going to have a healing movement with salt Pilates. So for those of you who've never tried Pilates, it's going to be a gentle kind of movement, get the body flowing. And then the rest of the afternoon are breakout groups. So this is where you're going to have your afternoon healing sessions. We'll have regenerative medicine treatments, ozone. I'll be doing acupuncture. We're going to have a SIBO breakout booth. And then we're going to do awards and celebration, and we'll be done by about 3:30. So if this looks interesting to you, I know some of you don't live, you're all over the country right now. Some of you are outside of the country, and really appreciate you guys being on this, but we would love to invite you to this healthy retreat and healthy self retreat. It is September 6th, 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And I'm so excited for this because this is a dream that I've always looked at. Like, how can I get all my patients in the same room? We create a community. We just have a day where we all do some healing on your body, and you eat good food, you meditate, you get your brain in the right space, you learn some great things, some techniques, and you get treatments. Like, what could be better than this, Cade? Can you think of any better way that people could spend their September 6th?
No, I really can't.
Yeah.
Especially from a healing and health perspective, amazing stuff. So if you guys want more information or you're ready to get registered for this, you can go to our website. It's acueastwest.com/retreat. If you go to that link, you will be able to learn a little bit more. I think you'll see a little more of the details on the flyer, as well as you can secure your seat, or you can call the clinic directly to grab that as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. And so I would just really encourage everybody to, say, like, what is my health worth? I mean, what would it do? What would change in your life if you just blocked out a day where you came in and learned from the best of the best in the industry? The date, once again, is September 6th. It's on a Friday, and it's going to be 9 a.m. to 3:30. We're going to have Dr. Lawrence. He's one of our medical doctors, Nicole Dreyer. I'll be there. Then our health coaches, Aaron Kay and Jenny Iyer, they'll be, kind of organizing the whole thing. But I'm really excited about this, and would love to have you come join us. I think it will be one of the most beneficial events of your life. And if you're not happy by the end, we'll simply just let me know, and we'll refund you your money, because I'm that confident that we can make this the best event you've ever had in your life. So, okay, that's all I got. Cade, any
love it
coming through, or anything you've got?
No, I think there's let's see, there's a couple questions coming through. Someone I don't live in Salt Lake, but I know I would love to get one of my family members there. Okay. Is that possible?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If you live outside of the state and you got a family member, no problem, and they live here in Utah, send them over. Just have them, go and fill out the registration form, and we'd love to have them. It can be for people who are not patients and people who are patients. So
awesome. Yeah, and if you do live out of the state, you're more than welcome to fly in and join us that weekend and come to the clinic the next week and get some treatments.
Yep. Wow. Absolutely. Beautiful. Okay, guys. Well, our time is up, and this has been really fun. Totally appreciate all the comments and your support. Love and appreciate each one of you, and just go out there and let's make the world a healthier place, but start with yourself. And that's how we can win this game. So
love it.
We'll see you then.
See you guys, same time, same place next week.